Hey, welcome to the Hive with Us podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Daniel Martinez. Today I have a special guest who is a podcast host, author, and other things. Of course, we're going to talk about that. Miss Sarah St. John. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Where are you from? Where we having this conversation from? What part of the country are you in?
I'm in Dallas, Texas. What about you?
Southern California. See, I wasn't ready for that
Okay.
kind of question. See, I was thinking, and I was like, I have a minute. See what
Yeah,
happens.
I usually like to find out where people are from before I actually start recording, but I forgot to ask you, and so yeah.
I like doing it while we're recording because
Mm,
I feel like it gives a depth of feel where people are from. Just because I talk to people from Australia, I talk to people from Canada, and I was like,
mm.
hey, you never know where people are from. Sometimes you get accents, sometimes you don't. It's kind of cool. It's interesting where the internet is vast and broad. It enables us to connect with multifaceted of people and different skill sets. I think that's the beauty of the internet. So I like experiencing that and sharing that.
Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe I'll start doing that.
So tell us about yourself. How did you become an entrepreneur, and how long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, so I would say the journey kind of started in 2008. I'd had 6 different jobs that year, not
Wow.
at the same time, but throughout the course of the year, and decided that I wanted to work for myself. So I started a photography business, but realized that while I like taking pictures of animals, architecture, and landscapes, I don't like taking photos of people. But that's what I was doing. That's where the money is. I was doing weddings and portraits. But the bigger issue was actually the expense to maintain equipment and all that. So I decided that I wanted to move into an online business model, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I tried a bunch of different things like blogging, affiliate marketing, drop shipping. And it was during this process that I discovered like all these free or affordable tools, resources, and software that entrepreneurs can use to, manage an online business on a budget. So I got this idea to write a book called Frugalpreneur, which kind of goes over like the different online business models and how to run them on a budget. Then I decided to launch a podcast also called Frugalpreneur to coincide with the book as like an extra marketing avenue, but it was just going to be, 10 episodes or something. Well, I got more leverage and traction from the podcast than the book, so I kept going. I've been doing that almost 4 years, almost 200 episodes. Love the connections and networking, and so I'm kind of all in on podcasting now. I've written a few books on that and have a podcast production agency. But it took over a decade of trying a bunch of different things to get to that point. So,
One of the first things I want to say is the hardest thing about business for everybody listening here is the people.
yeah. Well, and it's like I don't mind dealing with people now, like for what I'm doing with podcasting and things like that. But with photography, it was just a whole different thing.
This is where like the type of business you run, your avatar that you're targeting. Sometimes you want to deal with the type of people that your business is. So I had a real estate agent, and he was like a luxury agent, and he's like, I couldn't relate to any of them because I wasn't like living luxurious lifestyle. So I was just talking to rich people, which annoyed me.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that would. Yeah. Hmm.
It's one of those things where you gotta like find your people and then source and create a product around them. And
Mhm.
I think it's one of the big facets. So 10 years is not a small journey. Are you self-employed right now, or are you kind of been doing it like a side hustle thing?
Well, it was a side hustle for the longest time, but I'm self-employed now as of July or August of last year of
Congratulations.
2022. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh,
That
thank
is
you.
no small feat. That is no small feat. For everybody here, I think there's always the goal to become self-sufficient and have your side hustles pay your bills. But it's one of those things where like a lot of people don't make it there. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it took a while, but eventually if you work hard enough and just don't give up, you'll eventually get there.
I say the same thing. I'm like, it's a survival thing. If you
Mm.
survive long enough, you'll get there. And that's what I always say. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people, they think they're doing enough work to get to the goals what they want to be, and they quit. But it's really just surviving and doing it consistently for so long that you get there eventually.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. I think trying to avoid shiny object syndrome too. Like once you finally find that thing that, you're meant to do or good at or people tell you you're good at or whatever. But then you hear about this, that, and the other thing and you're like, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that. Launching a whole bunch of businesses. Yeah. I think that's a struggle for most entrepreneurs.
It spreads you thin 100%.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the inbound income to hire, it makes it even harder because then you really spread
Hmm.
yourself thin across multiple entities and structures and
Mm.
multiple projects, and it gets kind of hairy and crazy from then on. One thing I like about your story is that, and I had a similar epiphany too, but
This show is sponsored by HiveMind CRM. It is more than just a CRM. It is a real estate and business mastermind that comes with an all-in-one CRM. You can have unlimited websites and users. You can call, text, RVM, and email all in one user interface. And you can set up custom automations for any type and multiple businesses. 65% of companies start using a CRM system within the first 5 years of business. Once implemented, the HiveMind will save you on marketing, give you more time, and make more money. One of our users had his first $100,000 month using our system in June. We want to see you automate and accelerate your business. Text us at 210-972-1842 for future meetings, and of course to get our $1 course on how to make more than 6 figures on one land deal. You can schedule your free demo today at hivemindcrm.io.
from physical products to digital products, that is a huge turning point for me. So I kind of hear that from you. Did you have somebody like a mentor, or you heard a video or something like go to start looking towards digital products? Because for me, I heard somebody say it like digital products gives you infinite scale to reach the world, whereas physical products and physical businesses, you have to be physically manufacturing and delivering all this stuff. So it was like that light bulb clicked on me a couple early on. Was that something similar for you?
I think I switched into digital or online even before. I mean, I listen to a bunch of podcasts and I hear that all the time now, but I had switched into online before I even started listening to podcasts. So I don't think I had heard that at the time. And in a way, it was like the photography business was digital in a sense because it was a digital camera and like the photos are edited and delivered online, but I still had to go out physically to like weddings and stuff. And so, yeah, you can only scale. So, I mean, unless you hired a whole bunch of photographers, I guess, that like worked under you, but yeah.
It's one of those things where like you can, and this is one of my first businesses was trucking, and I can only make as much as my one physical truck could pull in as long as I had a driver there to pull it. And it was one of those things where like I was limited based off my income. And I think there's a lot of businesses out there that if you're a single photographer, yes, you can make great money, but you're limited by your own ability and time availability to create that income. And then if you hire people, it's limited by that thing, and you got to manage people and employees and make sure you're delivering a valuable product and service. And then when it comes to like online replicatable stuff, it's just like this is where I like courses, ebooks, all that digital products and digital businesses in general, delivering whatever your product is, and you can serve the masses. Tell us a little about your agency. What does it do? What kind of clients you're looking for the listeners here? Maybe they might need your service.
Yeah, so it started as PodSeam.com, and that was like more of your traditional kind of like podcast production and whatnot, but like, the standard 4 episodes a month that includes all kinds of stuff. But I realized just recently that, especially as the host of a show about frugal entrepreneurship, most of my listeners in particular probably wouldn't be able to afford my services to begin with. And so I rebranded just like last week, and it's thepodplanet.com now. And basically everything is $99. So like, and it's like on a per episode basis and like per service, like whether it's editing or the show notes or the graphics or whatever. I hadn't really seen anyone else do that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that because I think at least it makes sense for my listeners anyway.
Yeah. And this is where it comes down to where you have to pivot to your audience. So I think it's a skillful move because most people, they always do packages. They're always trying to get you for $1,000, $1,500 sale. They're a little bit low ticket, but medium ticket, I would say, trying to get you for a long time. But I mean, if your audience is low ticket, I mean, you gotta go dive into low ticket. I've seen one of my clients, he's made probably close to $2 million off a $20 product.
Oh, wow. What is that product?
It's courses. He does courses.
It's a $20 course?
Yeah, it's like $20 to $40.
Oh, wow.
And he's done $2 million in revenue off of that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I usually hear of courses being like 500 to 5,000 or something. But is it like on Udemy or something? Or it just through his site? Oh, wow. Just $20. And he's made $2 million from that one thing.
Yeah, since like 2020.
Wow. That's very interesting.
I think if you have a valuable service with an affordable price point, it opens to the masses, even if they use it or not. A lot of people like $20. I mean, that's lunch, McDonald's with you and your significant other or you and a child. And it's one of those things where like $20, like I mean, you spend that just going out to get gas.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
These days, $20 is like doesn't go very
That's
far
like a quarter of gas or like a half, maybe half a tank, depending.
on the vehicle. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of funny because like, I remember as a kid, like my dad would give me like $5 and $10, and like you get like the quarter bag of chips and you get a little juice, and you like I can get lunch and dinner with this $5. Not today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite different now than it was when I was a kid too.
The times have changed, and I think it's you can still, and it's like product and positioning and seeing what you can do with it. I like the digital agency. I have a digital agency. I love it. It's one of my. I like serving customers that I can reach a lot in a lot of different places. Like I have clients in 4 countries. I think it's one of the coolest things because
Oh wow.
I would never like reach them physically. Like it would take me forever to reach people from Canada, but I'm doing it through podcasting. So I want to dive a little bit into podcasting because I think some of your free books is like how to monetize podcasting, tips in podcasting. Let's talk a little about podcasting because I love podcasting. For me, I started it because I know I needed to reach more audience and more market share, but I actually grew to like it and love it. Let's start off with beginners. What are some tips and tricks to like maybe get your first 10 episodes out there? There's like determination and just make a decision to start. Let's start off with new people and we'll kind of dive on down towards experience and people that do this a lot.
Oh, sure. When you're first starting out, I definitely recommend launching with at least, well, definitely no less than 3, but really more like 5 to 10 episodes. Like have that many already recorded, edited, and ready to go when you launch. I think I launched with 7 episodes. And that just, first of all, it kind of helps get the momentum, but it's more like, well, you know how we all watch Netflix or whatever. And although they're kind of starting to release episodes in like 2 parts now, but for the most part they like release all the episodes at one time for a season, and it's like has that binge factor to it. So if you were to release 1 or 2 episodes right out of the gate, if you release several episodes, it just there's a better chance that someone's gonna
Watch
to
all 4
binge them.
episodes or 5 episodes versus the one that if you release one.
Yeah, and then, like, get hooked to it and subscribe and all that stuff versus 1 or 2. So that would be my first recommendation is and then, like, continue to batch really, because I think pod fading, that's the term used, is like
I've never heard
after.
that term.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's where someone releases or starts a podcast, but they only get out, like, 10 episodes at most, and then they fall off.
Yeah, there's like
But
I saw a statistic. There's like 80,000 podcasts and only like 80% of them have more than 10 episodes, or like 20% of them only have more than 10 episodes. Like some
yeah.
crazy statistic like that.
Well, I think there's like almost 3 million podcasts, but 80% of them like fall off after 10 yeah, I think it's like there's only maybe 80,000 or 300,000 or something
It's a crazy number.
active.
It's a
Yeah,
crazy number that don't make it past 10 episodes. For all the
right.
statistics out there, I know I heard the similar thing, and I'm like, that's crazy. For me, I think I launched 4, but I already had 50 pre-recorded.
Mm. Okay. Oh, wow. So you had 50 pre-recorded when you launched, but you
Yeah.
released 4 at okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely recommend like batch processing. The only thing like okay, so during the pandemic and everything, when we were all at home and had more time, and at least in my situation I did. So I was like taking advantage of it and interviewing, I don't know, I had up to 6 interviews a day it seemed. And I started releasing like an episode every day. Anyway, I still got 4 months behind, and I think at one point maybe even 6 months behind, in the sense that like the episode I had recorded with someone wouldn't actually go out for 4 to 6 months because that's how many episodes had been recorded in the meantime or whatever.
Mhm.
So I recommend batching, but not to the point where, especially if you have guests on your show anyway. If they're solo episodes, it doesn't matter. But people get a little frustrated with that if if their episode doesn't go out for that long. And then batch editing, I still do that. So yeah, that helps keep the momentum going, is if you can batch stuff.
How did you address your problem with 4 to 6 months of inventory? Did you just release it all?
Well, I mean, I started releasing 1 a day for a while because I was on a 1 episode a week. When I started recording a whole bunch of episodes, I started releasing them like every day. But even then, or at least for a while, and then it was like 2 a week and 3 a week. But basically now the way I have it set up, well, I do it a couple different ways. Like you were a guest on my podcast podcast, but it was through like an automated, like Rumble.studio. It was an AppSumo deal where like I ask questions in written form and then you respond in audio, and then it ends up being like a 10-minute episode and I edit it and release it. So I'm doing that, and then I'm also doing like when I actually interview someone like one a week so that they don't have to wait more than maybe a month at most for their episode to go out. But I batch edit them. I don't really batch record them now, but I batch edit them.
No, one thing I really want to hit on too is that I had the same issue. This is where like I think your podcast in general does better with seasoning. So if you're 6 months out, just release them. Just get rid of them. Whatever you got to do to release them. So I had the same issue. So I jumped to like one a day, just releasing them, because I was like, if it does better with aging, why am I going to hold on to it for 3 months? So I just let them all go. And like right now, I did 7 days. I did 7 a week for like 90 episodes, and that was crazy.
Oh yeah, I don't think I did that many. Wow.
I did 7 a week for like 90 episodes, and then right now I think I have it scheduled going out tomorrow, and I took like a month off because I released everything I had, and I took like a month off because I was tired. I mean, it's tiring because all my episodes are like 30 minutes to an hour, give or take. Like my sweet spot's like at 40-45 minutes, but man, everything's 30 minutes to an hour, and I'm smoked after that.
Yeah, it gets exhausting to have to record and edit that many back to back.
Well, I don't edit anything anymore. I mean, I have a team now. I have full-time editors that edit everything, which kind of makes it easier. But it was one of those things where like I knew I wanted to create content, so I had to get a lot of content out there and have the editors, full-time editors. I've had full-time editors. I've had 2 full-time editors for probably a year now, which is why I have to get content out in general, because that's a priority for me, is getting out content. So for me to record it and then have them to edit it and get the short form out of it, it's a full-time part of my business.
I'm just curious, have you found that like when you release daily episodes like that the episodes get fewer downloads overall than like when you release one a week?
I've seen that, but for me, I don't care per se, because I feel like when you hit that wave of audience that binge watch it, you're gonna have all the episodes there that they can consume. So I hit a wave about a month ago, and then I'm waiting for like it comes in waves. So I mean, I really don't care about the downloads per se per episode, but it's more of just getting. If I have the content, I'm gonna release it. Like
exactly.
Release it. I don't want to hold on to it. There's no point in holding on to it.
Right, exactly.
If I record it, it's already edited. It's going out. It's on the schedule. And that's how I treat it. Because I'm like, for me, it's just like if I already put in the time, it pushes me to go out and create more. If everything's going out and scheduled, I'm like, okay, I gotta get my calendar full again.
Yeah, I had it set up so like those ones where they're like the 10-minute episodes. I was releasing 3 a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I had it like I batch edited them and I batch scheduled them with like the show notes and everything, the graphic, all that stuff. And for like a month, I would get an alert that I released a new episode, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I did. Like you forget that you schedule them out, and yeah.
You get in a rhythm, and usually the rhythm it's good for you. I think the biggest reason why I do it is it's one of those things where like most people don't make it past 10 episodes. The people that make it past 100 is very minimal, and you just get smaller and smaller the more you do. I'm not trying to monetize it 100% right now. I know it'll hit eventually, so just keep doing what you're doing. And this is where I tell a lot of clients too. I'm like, if you start a podcast, it's like a 2 to 5 year play. If you're okay waiting 2 to 5 years, if you're not, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you won't see results, and I think they say at least 3 years. Last I knew, that could be more like 5 now.
But that's just how it works. I think a lot of people they have like the get rich or get results now terminology. I'm like, if I do this and I'm gonna get results, and they're all hyped up and they hype themselves up and they do it and do it and do it and do it, and then it's not working. What am I doing wrong? And I'm like, you gotta do more of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you tired already? Come on, you gotta do more of it. And this is where like I always I try and push people to start a podcast in general, because there's huge benefit to it. Very, very huge benefit. What have been your biggest benefits you've received from the podcast so far? I mean, self-employed now. would say that's number one.
The networking,
Networking.
like meeting people, and then especially when you meet them in person, like at podcast conferences or whatever it might be, and just the friendships that I've formed, and then the ability to like interview people that I never thought that I'd be able to, like Pat Flynn, John Lee Dumas, Jordan Harbinger, Mike Michalowicz, all these people. I don't know if you're familiar with any of them, but they're big in the entrepreneur space or podcasting space too. And just, I don't know, I feel like it just opens so many doors. I had my first speaking engagement last month at PodFest. Just things like that. It's just like, even if you're not directly monetizing it, I feel like there's just so many benefits of doing it, the connections and whatnot.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique experience. Were you always like, are you introverted or are you extroverted?
I should probably take like a test or something that tells me. I think I'm probably more introverted if I had to pick. I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit of both. It depends like on who I'm around, I guess.
So I'm very introverted, 100%. I know because I mean, I don't even leave the house.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so maybe I like to stay at the house most of the time, except for
So you're probably introverted. It's the
yeah.
craziest thing is the people that do, they're very introverted, and it's like coming out of your shell. Like if you would have told me in high school that I would do speaking engagements, podcasting, I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, getting in front of a video camera I'd never in my life I would be doing this. But here I am.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel too. Like I had a speech class or whatever in high school, and it's like, yeah, I can't see myself doing this. And now I'm speaking in front of people. I don't know.
It's a weird thing, and like a lot of it, like if you go back to my early episodes, they're a little rough for good reason. I think you grow when you get uncomfortable. When you get uncomfortable, you grow a lot more. You grow faster. Like people that are already out there, like they're like, I'm afraid to speak. I'm like, why? This is easy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, or
know?
people say, or they say the two biggest fears people have is, or one of them is speaking, I guess, in front of people, but I don't know. I haven't had that experience.
What is a quote that is yours or somebody else's that you resonate with?
Oh, that's a good question. I've heard so many good ones. I mean, I guess I'll just say one of mine, which I hadn't really thought of this as a quote before, but you need to spend as much time implementing something as you do learning, because we can spend so much time like listening to podcasts, taking courses, reading books, and all those things are good, and we should do those things. But like, I feel like as entrepreneurs, we spend so much time doing that and not actually implementing what we're learning. By the time we need to implement that thing, we've forgotten how to do it or we just waste so much time learning, I think, than actually implementing what we're learning.
I will 100% agree with that. A lot of I'm a real estate investor too, so one of the things is like the smartest person never gets the deal because they never make the offer.
Yeah, that's good.
They're still looking at the numbers.
Or like you don't get what you don't ask for, something like that. I don't know.
It's such a funny analogy that I think a lot of people struggle with, and sometimes if you just have a thought in your head, just take action. I mean, it's going to resolve your fear. It's going to resolve your what about this, because you're going to find out really quick and you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to learn a lot more than you ever could by doing and taking the action than you are by figuring out the steps. No, it's such a cool thing, and it's so simple too. Like a lot of people overcomplicate it. Just take action, whatever it is. Take action, whatever it is. Take action, and the results will come out. You'll find. This is what I've learned is that when you go out there and create a mission big enough, people will come out and support you.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good quote right there.
I don't know. I just made it up. I guess I'm inspired today. But like, and this is where like, if you create your own way.
The show is sponsored by The List Guys. Do you need more leads in your local or virtual market? 1 in 10 small businesses don't invest in any kind of marketing. The List Guys have over 35 plus list types to choose from, and you can mix and match any list or criteria. We also use the skip trace list and provide up to 7 numbers and email addresses. Every list you purchase will be scrubbed against previous purchases. The List Guys are here to save you time. Contact the List Guys today at www.onelistguys.com. That's www.1listguys.com.
People understand and will recognize that you're creating your own path, and the people that want to support you will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy how it works, but they're like, oh, I need help. I'm like, well, start doing it and the help will come.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. And don't get upset at the people who don't end up supporting you, I guess.
Those one I heard yesterday, those are so good. It was that if people are following you, protect them at all costs. If people are next to you, supporting you, respect them and appreciate their effort. And if people are opposed to you, fight them to the death.
Oh wow.
As well as and like business is war. Business is war. If you don't treat it accordingly, it's what it is. So a lot of people get their feelings because you shouldn't have done that. I'm like, well, stand in front of me. They're standing in front of me, you're gonna get walked over. And it's crazy. Like, I'm the nicest guy, just don't stand in front of me.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get in my way.
No, that's crazy. So tell us a little bit about your podcast. How many episodes you're in? When did you say you launched that 4 years ago?
Yeah, well, not quite 4 years ago. It was, I think, like summer of 2019.
Summer 2019.
And then I think I'm like 180 some episodes in. Yeah.
Awesome. Frugalpreneur.com or frugal.show.
Yeah, frugal.show is the podcast website.
Frugal.show. Frugalpreneur is what it's called, but it's frugal.show. Where else can people find you online? And tell us a word about your Pod Planet again, your Pod Planet website.
Yeah, so the website is thepodplanet.com, and I'm actually giving away some of my books for free, the PDF version, thepodplanet.com/free book.
And those links will be down below, so please go check it out. Thank you, Sarah, for coming on. I appreciate you and appreciate your contribution to the community. Like I said, I always like talking to fellow podcasters because I think it's a small community, in my opinion. A small community that actually produces results. So I think there's very few of many of those. So I appreciate you producing and creating content and educating the masses about entrepreneurship and being a shining light to other people that want to be just like you and I. So thank you.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Please go like, subscribe, go share with your friends, go leave us a review, and go check out the frugal.show with Sarah here. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching this YouTube video. We hope you found value. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to watch more videos just like this one.